All righty, everybody, and here we go. We are live this morning with the amazing Jules Brooke, and I've had the absolute honour of knowing Jules for a few years now. I reached out to her, like she is my competition in PR, and I reached out to her, or she reached out to me.
I think I did too, because I kept on hearing how good you were.
Oh, well, that's nice. It's nice when people say nice things about you, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
Your reputation, I reckon it always goes to show that you've got to be on your best behaviour, because everyone at some stage will know someone who knows you and talk about you. So you've got to, always be nice.
Absolutely. And, the thing is like, and what I was going to go on to say is that there really are no competitors in this whole big scheme of thing on this big blue ball of water and, oxygen and shit and all the other things that come out of us.
Plants and animals.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's really cool. And I know there's something that you're incredibly passionate about, and you've been talking a lot about it this year, is women empowering women. Yep. And you've got a program that does that. She's the Boss on Ticker TV, where you get amazing women on and you interview them and you delve deep into their stories. Why do you think that there's this bit of this furphy that women are horrible to each other? What is it that we're doing that's giving people that impression?
I don't know. And I don't know, because you've worked for yourself for a long time and so have I. So I have to say, my experience in like 99.9% of meetings with people and chats with people is that women are incredibly encouraging and incredibly uplifting. I don't know where it comes from. I reckon it might come from people who work in the corporate sector, where I hear, and I haven't been part of it for like 20 or 30 years, but I hear that there is still that, if I'm going to get up to the top, I have to crawl over other people to get there. But I just don't see it. I don't see it particularly in women in business. And I've worked with, and I know you have too, thousands of women. And I just think everyone wants to help everyone. And we all want to try and, if I can lift you up a little bit, then let me lift you up a bit.
Yeah, like how hard is it that if you see someone who needs some guidance and help, and you've got those expertise, that you don't jump in and say, hey, and I wonder if it comes from the 80s and 90s where this huge value on it. What do you reckon?
I reckon that cut out, and I heard you say, I wonder if it comes from the 80s or 90s. What do you reckon? So if that's what you were talking about, I reckon it was more cutthroat then. Is that what you meant?
I think that, the big shoulder pads, and it is, because, like if you look at shows like Sex and the City, the Law and Order, LA Law, and those type of things, the women, I'm showing my age here.
I know,
there was the big shoulder pads, and, those big, brass, bold women. Yeah, I've got big shoulders.
I'll tell you, aside from the fact that they look like big, broad and bashed women, what they did was they balanced out your hips and made your waist look small. So I always loved shoulder pads. I thought they were awesome. Bring them back.
I don't think there's any. I don't think I've got a waist anymore. I think it's gone.
Well, even more reason for us to have something up here that makes us look all big on the top bit. Makes our bottom end look smaller. My top's much bigger than my bottom now.
I think that's my boobs that do that. That's what makes it look. So there goes my dog. It's like nothing like live television to, really bring home that, we're all in our homes now and things are a little bit crazy.
Yeah, my dog
Jules,
is... Sorry, I was going to say... You go, you're the interviewer. I'll answer questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just be quiet. It's my show. Be quiet.
Yeah, I
will. We did talk about this before. So now the dog's totally distracted me. With women empowering women, that's what I want to talk about. I think it's a really important topic, especially now where we are all online and we're trying to do our best. How do you see is the best way that we can help lift each other up?
Well, for me, I love Facebook, so I'm all over Facebook, and now LinkedIn is my new Facebook, so I'm all over both of those. And I cannot resist anybody who says I need help with this, or does anyone know what I should do, or does anyone know? So that's one way straight away where you get to know people and you can actually do something that maybe will help them. But in general, I don't know. I think I just blinker myself to. I just believe that I believe that women in business generally, we're kind of a bit behind the eight ball, because guys have been doing it for so much longer and so many things are kind of entrenched in the male world. I don't want to go on and sound too feminist, but I do believe that we are kind of obliged to help other women because we're all struggling. We're all trying to juggle families and whatever. And so if there's anything you can do to help someone, you should. And I guess it sort of started on Facebook for me, and because when I had my PR agency, we had loads of mums and women that came on, and now I tend to work, about 80% with women. So I just see it time and time again, and what a small, genuine gesture to help someone can make such a huge difference to someone. And I think that way they start paying it forward. So, if they've been helped, they want to help. And I'm not saying that I am some frigging guru that, is able to help everyone. But like, there's a lot of people that are just starting out that we can help. We know, everything from what kind of, whether they should go to the tax or register as whatever, through to how to get a domain or, I love brainstorming with people, business ideas or any of that kind of stuff. So I just think there's lots of ways you can help women. And I don't honestly believe that even reaching out to competitors, there's always something you can do together if you just think about it. And there's plenty of customers out there for people. Like, nobody really needs to battle for their fair share of customers because there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of them out there. So, oh my God, can I call my sons downstairs to ask them to do that too?
It's now live on Facebook. I don't think he realised that. He's just woken up.
You probably thought you were just having a little chat. Now you're going to have to go back and grab that screen and put it up as a Facebook post just to prove that my son does kiss me occasionally.
Yeah, how lovely was that? That was lovely. So, look, I'm a big believer in all of those things that you're saying. And I know when I first started out that I was watching, like everything had a dollar value on it. Do you think that what we're going through now with, the coronavirus and people's businesses shutting down and people pivoting and deciding they don't want to do what they do anymore, that we're going to come out the other end and we're going to see a bit of a change in how we interact with people?
Totally. I reckon this is making a massive change. In fact, what's been really interesting for me is seeing some of the guys. Now, the guys are so used to bang, 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 working, pressure, work every hour that God sends, particularly those really driven kind of guys. And now they're being forced to go home and they're kind of going, wow, this is like really cool. I saw a post from a guy this morning that said, I have discovered places I've never seen. I've gone back and reconnected with friends I haven't seen for ages. And there isn't that massive pressure to it has to be about business all of a sudden. It can be about how you're dealing with this. But I reckon this is, I have seen this from the beginning as like a pause and reset, I reckon, for society. So I think we'll have a lot more people working from home. Hopefully we'll have a lot more egalitarian people being kinder to each other. I'm loving all the a lot of people have been talking about the negative stuff, but the positive stuff is the kindness that people are showing. Have you been noticing that too? Or like just people in my neighborhood, people dropping bread off to other people, going to the supermarket, checking people are okay, waving over fences, taking kids for a walk. And also in business, lots and lots of people offering free courses and what can I do to help, and just let me know. I mean, you guys, I've seen you guys doing it on the Obsessed Hub as well. What do you want? What can we do to help you? That's beautiful. Like, I think that's come out of this environment. I'm not saying you wouldn't have done it before, but now lots of people are doing that, and I think it's gorgeous.
It reminds me of, I think so too. It reminds me of like being a kid in the 70s. Now I'm really showing my age. You know, when you could jump the fence and go next door, or you'd come home and your washing would be folded up because it had rained and the neighbour came and got your washing. And I mean, like just the other day, I don't know why I wasn't invited, but 2 doors down from us, they're having this little street party, all socially distanced, but sitting in their driveways having a drink. And like, I've lived here 18 months. I've never seen that before. So it's almost like we've turned the clock back a little bit and reminded what it means to be a human.
And all the people cooking. And all of a sudden, all those people that were like, I don't have time to cook, and fast food and lean cuisine and healthy meals delivered. And I just have to laugh when I go to the supermarket that it went from toilet paper to flour. But like, I've got two 14-year-old boys who have been making bread from scratch, and they're baking banana cakes. And I've got an 18-year-old who's busy, you know, doing things online, helping people with their websites and things, just because, you know, he knows what to do and they don't. So I'm loving it sick, really. Oh, and there's
loving it sick.
And that's showing my age as well. There's a brilliant quote by Madeleine Albright. Have you heard it? I post it up whenever I can. And she said, there's a special place in hell for women that don't help other women. And I reckon that just hits the nail on the head and goes, there is no reason on this earth why you, if you're a woman and you can help another woman, that you wouldn't do it.
But do you think also, on the other hand, that it is showing people who are naturally assholes what big assholes they really are?
I reckon it's showing all the people around them that maybe they aren't the big guru that we all thought they were, because they're actually not very nice. And that I think being nice is 1,000,000% more important than being clever or being rich or being successful. And I think that we've, over time, when you didn't have time to really sit and get to know people or analyze them or research them properly, you just kind of went, oh my God, they said they're good at this. A few people have told me they're good at this, so I'm going to do their course, or I'm going to do whatever with them. And then you find that actually at times like this, they're not really very nice at all. And so why waste your time with people like that? We've only got a certain amount of time on this planet, and you want to be around people that make you feel good and people that can help you.
Spot on. That should be on a T-shirt. There's a business we can go into, T-shirts with, although I don't know if you've ever seen Hayley's T-shirt. She has the best T-shirts, and they've always got awesome.
Which one are you thinking of?
I can't think of them now. That I just know whenever I look at her T-shirts, I go, well, one, I wish that I could fit my chest into T-shirts like that. And number two is they're such empowering statements that she's got on them. Actually, I've got a girlfriend, Christine Selby. She's an amazing graphic designer, businesswoman, and her T-shirts have got fuck on everything. And it's like, I really like that.
So do I.
Yeah.
I think there used to be a Facebook group years ago, which was smart, intelligent, educated women that say fuck a lot. I think it's still around, but I used to love it. And then I went through a stage of, oh my God, what if my kids and people are looking at what I'm looking at? I better unlike it. But they were hilarious. And I'm a big, there's something, I don't know, there's something about women that swear that makes me trust them straight away. I don't know why. But
that's
I just kind of go,
good mate.
Well, that's right. As soon as someone says the F word, you just go, yep.
Yep, she's all right. It's really funny. Many years ago, I was listening to someone who's quite well known give a presentation, and I noticed that there was a lot of swearing in the presentation. And I said later, oh, I noticed there was a lot of swearing, and this person said, I was going for impact. And I went, oh, okay. Well, like, I don't even realize I'm swearing half the time. So, like, there's, and I get that
doesn't have that impact effect, maybe.
No, it doesn't. Absolutely. And I guess that leads me to my next question, is about, you know, there's so many of us online at the moment. We're doing lives, we're recording videos, like we're just interacting so much. What do you think that those people who feel like that they don't want to promote themselves or put themselves out there are going to get left behind because their reservations about putting themselves out there is going to hold them back?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I hate to say it because I understand that for a lot of people, there's a lot of shock, there's a lot of panic, there's a whole lot of stuff, and I totally understand that you've got to give yourself time to collect your thoughts. But I also think that if you disappear, then you're going to have to almost start from scratch in 2 months whenever all the doors and the gates are open and we're allowed out again. If you're not at least letting people know that you're around and what you can help people with. So instead of thinking about people promoting themselves, because I think a lot of people feel very uncomfortable with that idea, think about helping other people. Think about what's in your head, that you know loads of that you would actually be able to help other people with. Because I think um, that's the way to remove yourself out of the equation. So it's not about lifting your profile. It's about how can you help other people. And if you can help other people, which most of us can, then why wouldn't you? But yeah, I do feel that there, but I understand it as well. There was somebody that I spoke to who was really devastated by this whole thing. She's got two co-working spaces, and her husband's got a bar. So they've been completely thrown by this whole pandemic. And I said to her, you're allowed to fall into a heap and be in shock for a week, but you've got to at some stage set a date and go, okay, Monday, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go, what can I do now? Like, things have changed. They're not going to unchanged for a while. What can I actually do? And she's gone on and done some terrific stuff that's making a big difference. But yeah, I think it's important that you spread the love as much as you can at the moment.
What do you think? I said you said that you understood it. You understood where these people are coming from.
Yep.
And I know you're not a psychologist. You do have a P word. You
I have
are
got
a PR
degree,
person.
actually. I have got a psych degree in my distant past.
Oh, do you?
Ages ago, when I was at uni, it was one of my majors for my degree.
Well, there you go. That's probably why you're such a good PR person. But you've worked with thousands and thousands of people, helping them promote themselves. What is it that stops us from putting ourselves out there?
Well, and I feel exactly the same way as well, kind of myself, because nobody wants to talk about how ace they are. Like, it just feels incredibly uncomfortable. And I think, like I said, for me, I just take the whole emphasis off raising your profile or trying to big yourself up and just turn it into how can you help other people. And the fact that your face is attached to it is neither here nor there. But I think it's just really important that you kind of take yourself out of the equation. Don't think about it as being promoting yourself. And that's the way that I kind of think that it works. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, it's something that I always ponder because I also understand it because naturally I'm an introvert, always have been. I've just learnt to wear big flashy earrings and sparkly dress. I mean, like, I like wearing stuff like that. But when I started out 7 years ago, it was like, oh, talk about myself, ick, awful. Like, someone will think I'm a big wanker or that I'm something that I'm not. So I understand it as well. But when you are out there, whether it's business or you've got a message, you've written a book or whatever it is, there's a point where you have to go, I've just got to suck this up because it's not about me.
I think that's the easiest way to be able to suck it up, is to go, it's actually not about me and I'm not actually promoting myself. I'm trying to help other people. And that's the way when I work with people as well, and they kind of go, look, I don't know about doing my own PR because I don't want to really push myself out there. Go, well, you don't have to. Just take the things that you know that you can help other people with, everything from scrapbooking to washing windows. It really doesn't matter what it is that you do. There's always stuff that you can help other people with, and your name will just get attached to that. So it'll naturally happen. I mean, I was talking with someone the other day about one of the people that's going to do another show on Ticker TV, right? So she was saying, I really want to do it, but oh my God, I don't know whether I can have my face. And I said, my trick that I've been doing since day one when I started doing videos is I never watch them. I never, ever, ever watch anything that I've done. And then I don't have to listen to and cringe and go, oh my God. And that's why I say to people, Facebook Lives are particularly good because you can't edit them or look at them. Just do it and then never look at it again. That's my trick.
Yeah.
We-
It's mine too, because I'm really nasally, and I go back and I listen, and it's like, oh my God, who is that Ocker Sheila? It's like, who would listen to
I don't
her?
hear that at all, but I get told I sound like a man all the time, and I'm so self-conscious about my deep voice. And then I went, well, if I don't have to listen to it, I'll listen to it in my head. Maybe it's a couple of octaves higher. I don't know, but if I don't have to listen to it, I'm not going to stress over it. And which is really funny, because now that I'm doing this TV show, the guy who's been in TV for years is like, you have to watch your show every week and learn from it, and you'll learn yourself. And I'm like, are you frigging kidding me? I'm never watching it. I'll just learn from experience. People can tell me.
Yeah, you watch it, you get back to me.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. Now, like everybody who's watching right now, Jules and I actually had a interview, which was more like a chin wag. And we started talking about what we would do if we weren't doing what we're currently doing. Now, when you've done something as long as what Jules has, so you've been in PR for 20 years?
Yeah, 20. I've had 3
20?
different careers. I did 10 years in advertising sales, 10 years in graphic design, and now I'm nearly 20 years in PR. Fuck. Ooh, that makes me sound very old. I mustn't be as long as that in each of them, but anyway.
No, it is confronting. I remember when I was rewriting my bio, and it was like, after 20 years in the media, and I went, hang on, I'm 40, whatever it was. I'm 50. I'm 50 in a month, everybody. So presents can be sent to me, care of Obsessed With. Don't hold back. I love presents.
I will remember that.
Obvious? Was that an obvious promotion there?
Don't look at it after.
I remember writing that and thinking, I started my very first job in the media, I was 15. And I'm now almost 50. And I'm like, oh my God, that's like 35 years. I've got children who haven't even breathed that long.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. But you know what else we were talking about when we were talking about what would you like to be? And you just start thinking about, if you could split yourself into, say, 4 other people, because that's what I need to do, because you've only got one life, so you can't be doing loads of different things. What would each of those Annettes be doing?
Well, that's right. So like if we went to, there was a great show on in the 90s called Sliders, where they would slide to another dimension. It was a really cool show. If you like sci-fi, it was great. And that's how my youngest son got his name, because the main character was this very handsome man called Quinn Mallory. So I called Quinn. There's another child walking by. And so you could go to all of these alternate universes. So, Jules, if you could go to an alternate universe, what would you be doing?
Okay, so we're just talking about like in your dreams. In my dreams, I would be doing, do you remember that show Changing Rooms?
Yes.
I love doing that. I do that for all my friends anyway, which is you got no money. You just need to shift the furniture around, paint a couple of walls, and maybe paint a bit of furniture, maybe move that from the bedroom into the lounge room, shift the orientation. That is what I love doing, and I can't help it. Sometimes I just do that at people's houses without even trying. And then once, it was amazing. These 2 friends of mine said, we've got $5,000, come and do whatever you want to do with our house. And I managed to and I did things like, they had their TV cable coming down and in through the lounge room window. That their furniture was kind of all over the house, and they had really bad feature wall colours. And I just painted and cleaned and tidied it, like a bit of Marie Kondo, a little bit of Changing Rooms, and a little bit of, I don't know, Auction Squad or something. If I could have that as my job, I'd do it for sure. Yeah, I just love doing it. Or for beach houses, like I just did my boyfriend's place. He wanted to put it up on Airbnb, and so and it's a really sort of small 70s red, the brown brick with the big 70s kind of floral thing on the wall, and so we just made it ultra 70s, and he gave me a budget of I think $300, and I was able to get the cushions and the throws and go down to IKEA and get a couple of sort of prints, and oh my God, I love it. I love it sick. That's what I'd like to do.
I love it sick. I love it sick. Is that a Victorian thing? I love it sick.
No, it isn't. I think
Okay.
it's a surfy thing from the 2000s or something. It's not even
Oh,
appropriate for me as a mother to be saying it because my kids go, "Oh my God, Mum, that's so old." But I just think it's
mm.
so funny to love something sick.
Love something sick. Yeah, absolutely. We did the TikTok challenge the other night,
Yeah,
and I invited Quinn, who's almost 16, to take part in it with me as, a bit of a family activity. And he
yeah.
just stood up to the side and judged me so viciously and going, "Oh, Mum, that's so cringy." Because I was dabbing. And he's like going, "That's not how you do it." And it's like,
And
well,
you
I
said
didn't
it's
think it
not
was
for
a
you
precise
anyway.
science.
My neighbours have started to be one of those. We've got a street in Yarraville in Melbourne where one of my friends has got a son who's on the spectrum who's about 16 and he loves music. So he started doing concerts on the front veranda. So he does Elton John, so lip syncs, Elton John, Michael Jackson, I don't know, just loads of them, right? And he dresses up in the outfit and he does all of like the full show. And then across the road is Rebecca Barnard and some of those people. So they've all started coming on and doing stuff. And now there is a guy and two girls who I think live in a share house across the road. So they've started dressing up and they're doing whole performances on the nature strip. They did flash dance the other day and the guy was in his leotard. He was one of the three girls doing the dancing and he did the whole head back and they threw a bucket of water over him.
Oh,
You
that
know,
was
it's
brilliant. It's
anyway.
really bringing out creativity in people, isn't it? You just look at the volume of really clever, even not
Yeah.
so clever stuff that's showing up online. Although, you kind of wonder, out the other end, is that really wise to be in a leotard on a main road?
Yes, I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. And I've got three boys, two 14-year-olds and an 18-year-old, and I am gagging for them to get up on our balcony and do it, and they won't. Like they're just so my boyfriend, who's a bit more of a muso guy, and I are thinking we might see if we can do a lip sync one. I said I don't think I really want to sing, but I could so do like a lip sync and do you remember Tanya Lacey from the 80s?
Yeah.
Who she used to host Countdown for a while and whatever. She was my neighbour in St Kilda when I was a child. Well, not a child, but when I first moved out of home. She now lives in Berlin, and this morning she posted this post. I hope it goes viral, and it's she in Berlin and some guy in Rome, and the two of them have lip synced about 8 songs all around alone and coronavirus and whatever. It's so good. It's been done like the 50s and I feel so inspired. I think I posted it up in the group this morning. It's brilliant.
I'll have to have a look.
That'd be fun to do.
So we're talking about sliding doors. Now, you've got your business stuff that you do, but you
Yeah.
started a TV show last year called She's the Boss, which we touched on just before. Is that one of those dreams that you had where you wanted to be in front of the camera and be like, Yarn Event or, Liz or any.
I have to tell you what a freak. It is such a freak that I'm doing this. I have to tell you the story. It's amazing. So there was a guy on LinkedIn that did a post saying, I'm looking for people to interview. I've decided to start a new TV channel. Now, I answer posts about going on podcast guests and whatever all the time. I think a lot of people do. And I thought, oh, I'll go along. And he said it was going to be about business, innovation, or technology. So I said, great, I'll go along. So I go along. Then I said to him, I've got this idea about another show. And I said, can I come and talk to you about it? And he said, great. So I went along to meet this guy at 2:00 in the afternoon thinking, I'm going to ask him about this show and I'll talk to him about what I could talk about in my interview and whatever. And I walked in the door and he shoved a microphone on me as I walked in the door and sat down and said, we're doing the interview now. And I was like, fuck, I'm not ready. Anyway, did it for 20 minutes. And then he said, that was so much fun. Let's do another 1-minute elevator pitch thing. And I'm shit at those. I just have to say, I can never get the words out pithy and fast enough. But I did that. And then at the end, he said, oh my God, that was so much fun. Do you want to co-host the lunchtime show with me? And I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting all my life to be found. I'd love to. And then after we did that, I said to him, we have to go and get pissed. So we went and drank a couple of bottles of champagne, got absolutely slaughtered. And he said, I need more shows. And I said, oh my God, you've got to do a show about women in business because there are no TV shows and like it's crazy. And then I said, and I have to be the host. I'm not letting anyone else do that one. I'm going to do it. So that's how it started. And it was just a little half-hour show. He only launched it in August. I came on board in, maybe he launched in September. I came on board after the October holidays, and it's just grown and grown. And then he said, we need more shows. And I'm like, who do I know that are my friends that could do a show? And so now half the people hosting the shows are mates of mine. So it's going to be an awesome party when we're all allowed out of home. But yeah, so it's just a complete and utter freak that I just kind of grabbed an opportunity that was there because I thought it would be fun, and it's just grown and grown. And now I feel like, oh my God, it's a thing.
And you found somewhere, you found a niche that satisfies one of those dreams that you had. That's really cool.
I love it. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I'd started doing this when I was 20 now. Like, I absolutely love it. But I would never have had the nerve to go and knock on the door of a TV station or anything, or a radio station, said, can I have my own show? But it just happened, and I love it. And now all these women are enjoying it, and I get to invite women that I just admire from afar and don't know from a bar of soap, and go, would you come on? And because the TV show, they say yes. So it's like, it's beautiful all round. But it's a freak. It's not a strategic idea that I went, right, I want to be on TV and this is what happened. It's
really
just
cool. Well, Hayley and I are on your show in May, so
I know
we'll be on the other side.
I know. We get an hour, so it's like it's enough time. And the thing that I like to do is there are stacks of shows out there where people can talk about their tips and their business ideas and what would you say. What I want to know is, how did you, when you left school at 15 or whatever, how have you ended up doing what you're doing? And the same with Hayley. What's she done since she left school that ended up with her doing what she did now? What's the journey been like? Because it's fascinating to me, and I reckon to most people, to go, so when you leave school and you've got no friggin' idea what you want to do, how do you end up running some big successful company?
Oh, well, I've got a really good answer for that, and I'll save it for next month.
Until we're on air.
I'm not telling you. It's there. Nothing comes out of my mouth at all. Okay. Well, Jules, as always, it's an absolute blast talking to you, and I'm sure that we could continue talking for the rest of the afternoon. But people have got to go do some jobs, do their washing, I don't know, reorganise their laundry cupboard, or whatever it is they're doing on this fine Monday afternoon. So I would like to thank you for joining us here on Obsessed With.
My pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I think you just did a post and I went, me.
Pick me. I'm awesome. Well, you are awesome, and it's been awesome to talk to you.
Thank you. And I love what you and Hayley are doing with Obsessed Hub. You bring it on, girls. You're doing a terrific job.
Woo!
Yay!